Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we want everybody around here to know that, especially if you have an invisible condition, that you do have a voice, you have a community, and you are never alone. And to that end, we are not alone today. I have an amazing guest. Jeanne Mann left corporate America to motivate and inspire others, which is cool. In addition to being a devoted mom of 3, 2 with autism, Jeanne also developed resilience by the loss of her mother and her battle with Chiari Malformation, which we will talk about today. We're going to talk about that. Despite challenges, though, she remains committed to personal and professional fulfillment and, working to empower others to just embrace their potential and opportunities. It's awesome. She's doing some amazing things. I can't wait for you to meet her. Let's bring her on right now. Hey, there she is. All right. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes. Thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be a part of Invisible Condition. It's a real thing.
Very cool, man. I'm very excited. And it was fun to meet you in person last week. That was cool. I don't think, it's fun how that worked out. We talked on a call and it was like, hey, there she is. All right. So, yeah, that was fun. So yeah, if anybody wants to, that's like, how does that happen? But that was really cool. So now we've had a couple guests on the show with Chiari Malformation. That is a thing that we, way early at the very launch of the show, we had one. And actually, Charlie Stivers we had him on there, which I know you know him, and then we had another gentleman on there not that long ago, and so we're a little familiar with it around here, but every story is different, right? Every person is different. Everybody's life is different. How did you find it out that that's what was going on, and how's that impacted you?
Oh my goodness! So with my story, Chiari Malformation, if most of you don't know, it is a brain condition that you're born with. However, for me, I was not diagnosed until 2020 when I was pregnant with my 3rd child. So dealing with symptoms as a little girl and then having those symptoms amplified after the car accident that I was involved in back in 2002 when I was 14 really amplified those symptoms for me. But I kind of went under the radar 100%, being honest. I went under the radar, and I think a lot of it was, being pushed to the side. Nothing's wrong with you. They're growing pains. You're fine, And then after my mother passed after the car accident, I was even told, well, maybe you're depressed. They put me in anger management classes, and I'm not an angry person. I mean, I'm sure you can tell that I'm not an angry person, but I was just very mishandled.
Sounds like it. Yeah. I mean, anger management, that's a new one. I have not And yeah, you're probably the last person I would put in anger management, but that's crazy. So just to throw this out here, just right off the bat, I just want to address the audience real quick and just say, everybody watching, by the way, if you have any questions about Chiari malformation, if you're like, what the heck is that? Or if you say, hey, I have a nephew that lives with that, or my sister lives with that, or whatever, and you have questions, this is your chance right here. You've got somebody here that can answer your questions and wants to talk with you and stuff. So if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on E360 TV platform, Facebook and YouTube are super easy to comment and ask questions. You don't have to be specific if you don't want to, but at least then we'll know that we need to reach out to you. So and then I'm going to put this up here too, because this is a good way to get a hold of you. Yes.
Yes, it's a good way to get a hold of me. You can also search my name, Jeanne Mann, and you'll easily find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, you name
That's
it.
for sure. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, anybody have any questions about anything with this? Reach out and we'll get back, get in touch with you, and Jane can ask or answer your questions, and all the things, because it can be confusing, especially if you don't get diagnosed till later. So, whew, yeah, that's I mean, 2020 had enough fun, right? And then you get this,
Yes, no kidding. Oh my goodness.
How did that whole thing go, by the way, with 2020 and hospitals and all that nonsense? Like, what that had to have been extra fun.
It was, and then especially, I had just found out that I was pregnant with my third child that I was not planning for. So she was a big surprise. And when so I found out 1 week that I was pregnant. Then the next week, my neurologist called and said, I found it. You were right. You have a condition called Chiari Malformation. And I was like, I knew it. I knew that this was not normal. So, I mean, dealing with that through COVID and everything, to be honest, there was nothing that I could do. Pregnancy was the priority at that time. So I just had to deal with the pain as I had been dealing with it. I mean, I dealt with it my entire life. So for me, it wasn't anything different. It was just the knowing, okay, Jeanne, you're not crazy. You're not depressed. You're not angry. You do have a legit invisible condition. You have something there. Yes.
Isn't that nice? Isn't it? I mean, I've never wondered what the condition is that I have. I've always had clarity on that, but there's been times throughout my life where like in high school, I had to convince the doctors to do what they ended up doing. I was like, I need surgery. You need to, whatever we need to do, let's do that. And it took me 2 years to convince them, and
wow.
And because I was a kid, I was a 16, 17, year old high school kid. What do you know, but I live in this body. You don't, right? So I should know. And so it's so cool when they finally say, this is what you have. We know what it is. It's definitive. Now we can move forward and figure out what to do with it.
Yes, exactly. And it gives you the confidence moving forward. Like, you know what? I do know my body. This is me. I am in tune with me. I know that there's something not okay and it needs to be addressed. So, yes.
Yeah. That's so validating, and there's so many people out there that are, especially when they think it's all in their head, it's like, maybe I am crazy, because no doctors can find anything. And so if you're in that boat, keep going. You are not crazy. It is, how your body feels. The doctor doesn't. So
exactly.
Keep plugging away, man. You're doing the right thing.
Thank you. Yes. Advocating for self was huge. Just continually going, asking questions. What else can I do? I know that this is not normal. And then just Googling. I mean, I know they tell you don't Google anything. You might find out that you have cancer or whatever it is. I mean, but it was what helped me. I was the one that had told the doctor, hey, I think I might have this. Like, let's look into that. So, and it started out there's a a condition don't even know how to pronounce it. It's like oh my goodness, I can't even say it. But another one was hydrocephalus. They thought that I might have had hydrocephalus. So, but I kept on going back to the Chiari, or there was another one I can't remember off the top of my head, but and just doing the research.
Yeah. Hydrocephalus can mimic a lot of the same things that you were probably feeling, right? I mean, that's my condition, is hydrocephalus. And so, yeah, headaches are a thing, right? Dizziness is a thing. Vertigo is a thing. Yeah. Feeling like you're going crazy because you can't see anything on the outside, but you're having a headache that would kill most other people.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even be able to tell just by looking at us. You would not be able to tell at all. I think that's why that was the biggest reason why I went under the radar for so long, because she looks healthy. She's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Even after a surgery I had my most recent brain surgery in 2021, I went back to work after that, and they said, oh, so you're, and hydrocephalus, for those who don't know, hydrocephalus is kind of an ongoing thing. We typically have to have repeated brain surgeries because the shunts that they use to treat hydrocephalus have a very high failure rate. And so a lot of times we do it over and over and over and over throughout our lifetime. And so this was my most recent one. And they said, one of the guys that I saw at work all the time said, oh, so you're good now. You're back at work. So you're set now. You're all good. I'm like, no, I'm alive. I'm still here because I had surgery. If I hadn't had the surgery, I'd be dead. So no, I'm not good. I'm still here. So it might happen again someday. Who knows? God willing, not ever again. But it's an ongoing thing. That's what a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah.
With conditions like this, it's always there.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
yes. I can't stress that enough. And I think a lot of people have a hard time understanding. Excuse me, my light just went out.
Whoa, yeah.
They have a hard time understanding. I hope that you can still see me okay, but that it is a lifelong thing, that it's just never gonna go away. You manage with it. You manage every single day, whether it's with the pain or through multiple surgeries. Like in your case, you've had multiple surgeries. I understand that later down the line, I may end up needing another surgery, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And it's it's almost like you have to educate the public a little bit. It's like you got to educate your friends and family sometimes, and tell them, what's going on, and then they go, whoa, I had no idea, because you handle it well.
Yeah.
But that's good. Tell me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you have probably a pretty high pain tolerance.
Oh yes, very high pain tolerance. Yes.
Yeah. That's part of the double-edged sword of it. It's like yes, you can stand pain, more easily than some other people maybe, but that also means that you don't always show when you're in pain, which can be a detriment.
Exactly. 100%. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with when you're feeling the pain, you kind of get this sense of guilt. Like, I don't want to say that I'm in pain. I don't want to admit that. Because for me, especially, like, I felt guilt and shame asking for help. Like, I didn't want to do it. And it just went hand in hand with that.
I mean, for me, I never really had a problem asking for help. It was more the this is what life is. It's like, I'm always in some level of pain. There's always some level of pain involved in this. And so talking about it all the time, almost like, it's like the cry wolf thing, it's like, the more you talk about it, the less people are gonna, jump to, if you say I have I'm in pain. So that's where I was dealing with it. It was like, I got to be careful when I speak up, because, it's not always worth speaking up,
Yes, I definitely understand that 100%. speaking up for myself. It was almost easier just to stay quiet because they weren't going to understand
Right.
anyway. I looked fine. So what am I complaining about?
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
almost like when you have to explain the joke for it to be funny, it's like you know, it's like it's not funny anymore then, it's like so yeah, man. Well, I'll tell you what. So finding out you were surprised, you're pregnant, and then you get this at the same time, and it like that, how was that compound? I mean, it had to be like a compounding effect on it, like you're dealing with the craziness of holy smokes, I'm what now? I'm pregnant again. And
Yeah.
then find it like how did you, I mean, you went underground for a little bit, right? You said you kind of
Yes.
retreated, but was it just the sheer impact of finding out everything at once, or how was that like?
I think it was the impact of finding out everything at once. I was not prepared to have another child, and knowing that my oldest and my middle, I had just found out. So my oldest, I've known since he was about 2 years old that he was on the autism spectrum. And
Wow.
then now my second child, just finding out that, okay, he too is showing signs of being on the autism spectrum as well.
Wow.
Then finding out that I'm pregnant again, which I was not planning on, and then finding out, okay, you have the diagnosis of Chiari Malformation, and then you throw COVID in the mix of all of that. Oh yeah, it was definitely yes,
Yeah.
a period of like, what is going on? How am I going to handle my life? Who am I? What am I supposed to be doing? Like
Yeah.
it,
Right.
yes, it was definitely a tough time for sure.
Yeah. I mean, our third was not expected, was not necessarily on the agenda either. So we found out with our third and was like, what? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? So yeah, I can relate to the surprise, you're pregnant again, kind of thing. So yeah, that can throw you for a loop by itself, not to mention all the other stuff. So
Yes.
wow. Okay, so we're going to talk about this more on the other side of the break, because we're going to go to a break here in a couple of minutes. But I want to just throw it out there, and then we can tackle it on the other side. But
Yes.
I just want to talk about raising two kids with autism.
Oh,
I mean, that on its own is like, for somebody that doesn't have the added health fun, shall we say,
yes.
of something like Chiari, like that can make a normal person's head explode. So
Oh yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've got some stories there. So I definitely want to hear some of those.
Yes.
So let's talk about that on the other side of the break. We're going to go to a break real quick, but let's talk about the balance of all that, because that's like the ultimate balancing act, right?
Oh my goodness, yes, 100%.
So nice. Well, I am so excited that you're here, and I'm going to take this down for a minute. And everybody, stick around. There is so much more to the story that you do not want to miss. So second segment is going to be even cooler. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. And we will see you just in a couple of minutes.
Hey there. Every time someone comes into your business or website and uses their card to pay, a percentage of that gets folded back into the system. But it can go to Hydro with Hope instead. If you'd like your business to support us rather than feed back into the system, scan the QR code and we'll show you how to do that while saving your business money.
Does your to-do list have you feeling stressed? Does your list include tasks like responding to email and phone calls, collecting forms and paperwork, and sending quotes and invoices? Have you been neglecting posting updates to your social media accounts, email newsletters, or content on your website? Maybe you need help to get digitally organized. I'm Selena, one of the owners at Office Mercenary, and we're a US-based virtual assistant agency. We can take care of all of these tasks and more so you can get back to focusing on the things you love about your business. Our team is happy to work with you and your individual needs. So schedule a call with us, bring your to-do list, and stop doing the tedious tasks.
Hi, I'm Sarah Stockham, and I'm host of Simply Sarah. Join me Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific on the Achieve TV network for the best energetic tools to elevate your amazing life right here on E360 TV.
everybody, before we bring Jeanne back, I gotta talk to you about some good friends of mine in Portland, Oregon. Brett and Molly Pryor. They're running a nonprofit called The Porch Coffee, and this place is amazing. If you have never been to Portland, you should go. And when you go, you got to stop by The Porch. It's a coffee space that was created for communities to converge, and it's a space. It's a nonprofit, and it's a space for you to show up and be seen. And they want to bring training and opportunity to those in society that are sometimes overlooked in the community. You know who I'm talking about. That's who they want to bring in and train and get them back into society. So, and they see coffee as kind of a vessel that crosses all bounds, and it enables people to preserve dignity through the act of generous hospitality and building community and relationships with your neighbors. And so you can also be a part of that mission that the Porch is on. And wherever you are in the whole United States, they ship their coffee anywhere in the US. They roast it, they ship it. It's fresh. It's absolutely amazing. I'm kind of a coffee nerd myself, and so I'm very picky about the coffee I drink, and they do it right. Okay, so any coffee nerds out there, this is your spot. I've got a couple of varieties right here that I'm running low on, by the way, Brett and Molly. I need some more. I'm going to need to order some more. But scan the QR code, made it super easy for you. They'll ship anywhere in the United States, and you will not be sorry. This stuff is absolutely amazing. So for the coffee nerd in your life, this is perfect. So, all right, everybody, let's bring Jeanne back on here. All right. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to, let's pick up where we left off, man. I think we were talking about the three-ring circus, so to speak, that you have going on, that with special needs and all the different things. Like tell it, like that compounds everything, right? How have you dealt with that? How's that gone?
Oh man, honestly, it's something that I really didn't even think about per se, because when you're a parent, you just do. There's no time for you to think about, oh, well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? No, you just have to do it. And that's kind of like how my whole life kind of has been, especially after I lost my mother. I just had to do it. I didn't have a choice. I had to be mom. I had to step up. And did I have my days? Of course. And I think anybody that's a parent is going to have their days like, okay, what about this? What about that? But dealing with a child with autism, it is a whole different ball game. My oldest, he's 13. I've got him to the point to where he can make his own breakfast. He can make his own pizzas and lunch. And he's so responsible that he's okay with being home by himself. Like,
nice.
Yes. So with him, he's good. However, my 5-year-old, then at that time, he was 2. Even still to this day, he is the complete opposite of my 13-year-old. He is rambunctious. He's barely starting to put words together, jumping off the walls, like literally here, there, everywhere. Like he's everywhere. And that's the one that I have to have a lot of patience with. But again, like it's not something that you really put a lot of thought into. You just move. You move in action. Yeah. And there's really no playbook on how to do it or how to do it right. You just move in action towards that.
Yeah. I mean, one foot in front of the other, baby. That's all it is, man. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, when you're a new parent anyway, it kind of makes your head explode a little bit, right? And so you just kind of kick into that parent mode and move,
Oh yeah, so, most definitely. Yeah. Like when he was 2, my middle child, when he was 2 and I was pregnant, I mean, drawers, and I'm behind him, drawers, cabinets, doors open. I mean, we have to have locks on everything, even the refrigerator, because people go in there, just strawberries, oranges, and it's still like that to this day.
Not to mention if they try to climb anything in there, I mean, right? Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's so nuts. The amount of work that goes into child-proofing a home it's like you're in a maximum security prison, you know?
Oh
You gotta
man, yes.
it's
Indeed.
insane.
Indeed.
Oh,
It is.
so so I know you left corporate America to kind of pursue your own thing, but when was that in relation to all of this? Like that didn't add to everything on top of it, did it?
So actually, after I had surgery, I did lose myself. I lost my
Sure.
identity of who is Janae? What is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? I was working at a car dealership. Um, Up until I left, it was almost 11 years that I had been
Wow.
with them. Yes. And the money was great. I made great money. That wasn't the issue. The thing was I didn't feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
And after having my surgery, which was 2 years ago, I just knew that I was meant for something more. And I started to journal. And
Yeah.
through the journaling and starting to write my book, all I was doing was my due diligence and finding out, okay, what's better for me? Traditional publishing, self-publishing. And then one
Sure.
of my ex-coworkers actually told me about Daniel Gomez and was like, hey, he does book publishing. You should reach out to him. So when I did, 4 months later, after the original conversation, we just connected so well. And he told me, you know what, Janae, yes, I'll publish your book. In fact, I think you have many books inside of you. And I kind of wasn't
Nice.
prepared for this, but I want to offer you an opportunity. Let's inspire the world and change the world. And it was actually what I had been journaling about months prior. And I just felt like the stars aligned. And I mean, here I am now. I left corporate America, a great paying job, to bet on myself because I
Nice.
believe in myself so fiercely that, you know what? I can help people. I can help their business. I can help them find their best version. And my own story is a testament to that. I don't use, my condition as a reason as to why I can't do things. I use it as fuel as to why I can.
I love that. Yeah. And and you jumped into quite the outfit there because Daniel is not he's high energy, shall I say. I'm
Oh,
putting it mildly, but he would be quite the interesting, that would be quite the environment, like it's
yeah.
always going, so you were probably used to that anyway, right? So
In a sense, yes, but car business and what I do now is so totally different. So while yes, we're on the go, 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 go in the grand scheme of things, it still is very fulfilling for me
yeah,
in the sense of being able to help people and light them up and encourage them to live their best version in whatever it is that they do.
nice.
So it just worked. It worked and it made sense. Yeah.
That's awesome. And so you said you're writing a book. Is that finished yet?
No, it's not
Published?
finished.
Is it okay?
I'm in the middle of writing a book, but I'm actually also co-authoring a book, which is Finding Your Inner Beauty with Mari Gomez, his wife. And
Ah,
we have a few beautiful women that are part of this beautiful anthology. And basically, it's about women, how they found their inner beauty through whatever adversities that they faced in life.
that's
Yes.
awesome. So you're still working on that one too? Is that one
Well,
kind of
that one
still
is actually going into production now, and
yeah.
my book I'm still working on.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if people want to reach out and find out more about that compilation book that you're part of, they can do that now through
Yes, they can
this
do that
link
now.
right here.
Just reach out to me. Look me up on Facebook or call me directly. I mean, I have no shame in giving my number out. That's 210-825-9540. I'm here to answer whatever questions you have.
Say that one more time.
210-825-9540.
Awesome. All right, everybody. You heard it. Now you're going to see it here in a second. I'll put it up there in a little bit so people can reach out to you. And of course, Daniel Gomez Global and the QR code, you can reach out there and reach Jeanne as well. And so, yeah, I mean, this is like the story of, I feel like this is the story of, oh, you should quit and just do, no, I don't want to quit. I want to do this and this and that. I got too much to do, man. I got too much to do. I mean, you're a perfect picture of that. I mean, you're writing books. I mean, come on.
Yes, I'm starting to get on stages now.
Yes.
I mean, at the Achieve, I spoke to over 300 people. That's a big win for me. I'm getting
That's
on
awesome.
podcast shows. Your television show, this is huge. I'm excited. I'm
This
making
is
moves.
fantastic.
It is.
Right. All right, everybody. There you go. There you go. In case you missed it, there's the number. So text her, call her, whatever. I mean, you are an open book, man. I've never asked you something and been like, I don't think she's telling me everything, you know.
Yeah.
There's no joke there, man. She'll just tell you what's up. So so that book is going to be amazing. And is the book that you're writing right now of your own book, is that going to be more like a biology biography?
So that book is going to be geared more towards healing and self-love.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
yes, I've had to learn how to love myself over and over and over again through my journey. And, you know, it's a part of my testimony, and really just encouraging people that you really are the author of your story. You just have to choose to pick up the pen and write it.
That is 100% true. Yeah. So many people. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that's like, oh, I want to write a book so my kids have something to look back, you know, on, or I want to tell my story and all this stuff, but nobody ever follows through. I mean, I shouldn't say nobody. I mean, we're both here, but I mean, most people just don't follow through. Part of it is just they don't know what to do. They don't know what the first step is, or where to go, or who to talk to. I know there's a ton of amazing publishers out there. There's some that aren't so amazing, so you got to watch out for those. Avoid the landmines. You know, there's plenty of those too. But I mean, Daniel Gomez, yeah, jump in there, plug in, talk to anybody there, and I'm sure they'd at least get you started. You know,
Yes.
So
most definitely. Yeah. I mean, we've helped over 120 authors and counting in publishing books. And the most beautiful thing about it all is that with doing the publishing with Daniel Gomez Enterprises, our authors own all of the rights and the royalties to their books.
Nice.
I think is amazing, because this is why a lot of authors don't continue writing books, because of that royalty component that's attached. Daniel Gomez figured that out when he wrote his second book, and it's really changed the game. It really has.
Yeah, because a lot of publishers, I mean, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus here. I mean, there's a lot of amazing publishers out there, and you know who you are, and keep up the good work, man. Kudos, you know. But yeah, there is some confusion in that world, I think, and authors. A lot of people are authors now through self-publishing and things, and they just don't know what they don't know. I didn't know what I didn't know until I published my first book, and so I'm totally I understand.
Yeah.
But so to have that guidance and that help is huge. So if you've got a book like inside you that you can't figure out how to get out, just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. And if you have questions, reach out to me. I can definitely help guide you in the right path. I mean, the way that we do our publishing here, you get one-on-one coaching with Daniel Gomez directly. And when I tell you the coaching is so intensive, like, he will help coach you, pull out the concepts out of you, develop your chapters, give you a template. He'll even coach you through imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is a real thing.
It so is.
And that to me is priceless, because I don't know how many roadblocks that I have personally have come to where he's helped me to either break through, climb over, or go around. And that coaching is priceless. You need it.
That's huge. I mean, speaking of that, is there a specific, like, I know there is, but I just want to see if you can, you know, just pinpoint, like, was there a specific moment where you're like, oh, there it is. That's what I need to do. You know, that's what I want to do. And like, that kind of catapulted you, you know?
So that moment for me, I was sitting at work back at the dealership, and I knew it like the back of my hand. I did so much there. And it was almost like robotic. I just was working on autopilot. And I just knew that day, and I had been already separating myself from people, places, things, taking lunches by myself. And I just knew like, I can't do this anymore. It's not filling my soul. In fact, I felt like I was just dwindling away. Like I said before, I didn't even have my own name on Facebook. I had my daughter's name because I didn't want anybody to find me. Like I was not shining my light at all in the slightest bit until I joined Daniel Gomez and his team. And that's when the game changed. That's when I started to like unveil who is Jeanne. And I mean, here I am, and I'm not going anywhere.
I love it.
Yes.
So if anybody, so yeah, I mean, there's got to be in our audience some people that are feeling that way. So seriously, if you're in that boat and you are like, oh, you know, the kids just graduated from high school and now the house is empty and we don't know what to do with ourselves, or, you know, I just retired and I don't know what to do. You know, what's the next phase look like? Whatever, you know, this is the perfect time to reach out to Jeanne and say, help.
Yes, reach out to me. I mean, it's a real thing. It's a real thing for anybody. For you to get lost in the sauce. I mean, I didn't know who I was for a very long time, like trying to be the perfect mom, being the perfect employee. And then how am I going to feel myself? I wasn't loving myself because I was so stuck in a cycle of doing everything based off of what others thought I should be doing, what others thought, you know, was going to be best for me. And it's not a way to live. So if you're stuck in life, let me know. I can help you through that. I've been through it myself. And I mean, I just feel like the things that I've been through in my life have brought me to the point and prepared me for this season in my life.
Yeah, exactly. And it's fun because when you look back, you go, oh, there was that one and that one and this one and this one. And oh, now that's okay. All right. I get it now.
Yes, exactly.
When you're on the road, it's like you got tunnel vision, right? But it's, well, that's why what's the verse? A lamp to your feet and a light to your path. It's not a spotlight to your entire mapped out destination. It's a lamp to your feet, one step at a time, you know. So when you can get guidance on that, it's huge. So
yes,
yeah. 100%. So 100%. Well, there's that number again if you want to reach out. But I tell you what, we're gonna go to one more break, and then we're gonna talk about. I want to throw another question out so we can talk about it on the side. So, and I know that our audience would love to hear the answer to this. I think. What advice would you give to other moms out there, other women out there that are dealing with that kind of thing? Maybe they're dealing with an invisible condition themselves, or maybe they're dealing with that imposter syndrome. Maybe they're, you know, not sure what to do now. You know, when we come back, I want you to think about that and give us if you were sitting eyeball to eyeball with one of them, what would be the first thing you'd tell them? So,
got it.
Yeah, let's talk about that when we get back. And if I stick around, we will see you on the other side of this break. And we got a little ways to go, so stick around. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Jake, co-founder and CEO of One Hope. My friends and I started this company in 2007 out of the back of this truck on a mission to enrich people's lives through wine. Today, we've grown into a state-of-the-art Napa Valley winery that proudly houses a portfolio of award-winning wines which have touched lives through over 40,000 nonprofits at home and around the globe. And it's happening every day. Being rooted in local communities and contributing to initiatives that uplift neighborhoods, celebrate cultures, and promote community. It's what got us here. You see, through every bottle sold, your purchase can make a direct impact on the causes you care about. One Hope's cause of choice has given back over $10 million and counting.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Greg Russell. I'm the host of TechnologyTuesday.com. You can find us on the Conscious Business TV network every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the latest resources to help you make more money in your business. Join us on E360 TV. Come on.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. This is awesome. Jeanne, thanks for sticking around and
Yes, thank you.
telling so much of your story. This is awesome. So before we went to the break, this last break, we were talking about what would you tell somebody that's in the situation. Maybe they have some sort of invisible condition they've been living with, and they're trying to find their path. They're trying to figure out what they want to do next. What would be the first thing you'd tell them?
So the first thing I would say is, one, love yourself. Love yourself more than anybody outside of you can. And do that in ways that feel good to you. So for me, feeling good is by journaling, writing poetry, meditating, praying, doing those things. And then also giving yourself permission to be the observer in your life. When you become the observer in your life, you now have control, and you realize that things really are not happening to you, rather they're happening for you.
I like
and you're
that.
no longer the victim. You
Yeah.
don't have to be the victim. That's a choice. You don't have to be the victor in your life, and it will change the game.
Yeah. I mean, that all boils down to, honestly, I don't remember where I heard this, but I've said it probably a billion times. I guess that's exaggeration, but your attitude is the only thing you have 100% control over. The only thing. That's it, and so that's the difference between victim and victor and all the things you were just talking about, right? It's up to you. It's not up to anybody else
Yes,
to decide.
exactly.
So, yeah, that's huge.
It is huge. The moment that I started to allow myself to really feel, because there's healing and feeling, to actually heal and to become the observer in my life, now I'm the narrator of my story. I get to write it however I want to write it. And that's powerful. It doesn't have to be the way everybody else thinks it needs to be. Go within, because all the answers are there.
Yeah, it's true. And sometimes that's a scary place to go, but you're right. Answers are there, man. Whether you want to find them or not, they're there. So that's huge. That's a big
One
deal.
thing I will point out as well is that whenever I was a little girl, one thing, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers can probably relate to this, is whenever I was scared, I used to hide under the blanket. And one thing I didn't realize back then that I realize now was that I was only putting myself in more darkness.
Yeah.
And in Genesis 1, I believe it's 3, it says, "And let there be light," which means that light came from darkness. And until you can have that beautiful balance of the light and the dark and get the goodness from the dark, that's when you can actually start making changes, because your perception has changed. It's not this horrible thing. It can be your biggest disaster, can be your biggest success in life.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing. It's true. And kind of along those lines, I mean, so being the victor and owning what's happening to you and stuff, there's always, the thing is, there's always hard days though, right? There's always hard days. Nobody escapes that, whether you have an invisible condition or not. Some days just suck, right? That's just how it is. So on those days, it's important to be able to still maintain hope. So how do you maintain hope on those hard days?
So on my hard days, I think about, okay, I'm feeling anxiety, I'm scared, or I'm under pressure. What is the opposite of that? The opposite of that is peace. Okay, so now what brings me peace? For me, again, it's the journaling, it's the meditating, it's listening to good music that hypes me up and makes me feel good. It's talking to that one person that I know at the end of the day, they got my back 100%. So leaning in to those things that are the absolute opposite of anxiety and stress and all of those are the things that I do that help me to get through.
Nice. Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah. Because it's true. I mean, there's going to be those days, right? You can't avoid them.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to have a way of navigating through there. So that's beautiful. So one more time, what is the best way for people to reach you? I mean, we have your phone number here. It is.
Yes, I would say that the best way, if you want to reach me directly, is through my phone number. Search me on Facebook. You can find me there through my name, Jeanne Mann. Or even if you're interested in writing a book or, public speaking, podcast, whatever, visit our website at danielgomezglobal.com. I can answer whatever questions you have. I mean, I'm a true testament to the success of that and how you really just have to get out of your own way, and we can show you how to do that. So
yeah, that's awesome. That was a nice little crowd to speak to, wasn't it, last weekend? That was good. So yeah, you got to start somewhere, man. Even if you're starting in front of, I mean, the first time I ever did speaking was to a group of maybe 20 people, right? And then it grew from there. So you never know what that, but at least it's a start.
yeah.
Even if it's to 10 or 20 people. In fact, I'd rather speak to 500 or 5,000 instead of the 10 or 20, because I don't know why, that feels easier to me. But because you can't see every single person's eyes looking at you, you can pick a point and just, but the point is, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And so if you want to get that kicked off and get that started, just reach out to Jeanne and she'll hook you up. She'll get you started. So
yes, 100%.
yeah, for sure. So I mean, there's got to be some success stories that you've got tucked away in the mind there that you could share, that are like, here's some success stories that I have been able to observe while you've been doing this in the last couple of years, right?
Oh man. So I mean, I haven't been with Daniel Gomez long at all. I mean, I've been with him maybe 100 days.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So in that short amount of time, I'm in the middle of starting my podcast. I'm writing my book, co-authoring another book, Finding Your Inner Beauty. I just got on stage for the first time there at Achieve. And I mean, I'm appearing on podcast shows. I got on your TV show, which happened like so crazy. Like, I mean, that whole thing was crazy. But I mean, I think that God puts things and people in our path for a reason. And for me, all of the success, I mean, I couldn't do it alone. That's number one. I mean, I probably could, but it would have taken me a lot longer. The moment that I admitted to myself, okay, I need a little bit of guidance, I need some help, Daniel and his coaching has tremendously helped to transform me in so many ways. And then even with the journaling and everything that I do on the side separately, I mean, I've dropped 26 pounds in less than 6 months, and without even really trying or being on a crazy diet. I really think that the healing within helped drop a lot of the weight, not just in the the hypothetical sense, but even in like the physical sense. It just literally melted away. Yeah. So, I mean, there's so many success stories. And even with the coaching that I've been getting with Daniel, one of the things that he's really big on is on affirmations. So I even do that at home with my kids. Now with my oldest, he passed all of his classes. He's in karate, and he's even, upping up his game and getting to the next bell. And I mean, it's working. Everything that we're doing is working. So yes, I mean, I love it.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, that's what it's all about. When your attitude changes and you're able to, say, okay, this is it. This is what we're doing.
You literally have to decide. You have to decide that you want it. And for me, I just knew back in the car dealership days, like, I know I'm meant for so much more. And the moment that opportunity came without even looking for it, but I recognized it when it came, like he said what I wrote in my journal, and that there's no way because all the only reason I reached out to him was to publish my book. And that was it. That was it. And when he said that to me, I was like, okay, this is divine coming through. I'm going to listen. This is my opportunity. Let me do it. So if you have a sign, or there's a higher power that you believe in, whether you say that that's God, spirit, the universe, whatever, like, pay attention.
Yeah. That's a very important thing to do. Yeah. Pay attention. I mean, for us, we're Jesus followers in our house. We believe the Bible. We follow that. And, and so when the Holy Spirit talks, you listen. You don't brush it off. I'm hard-headed, so it's taken more than once. Sometimes that kick over the side of the head sometimes takes more than once, but eventually you listen, and then it always works out better when you listen. So yes, please take action when that happens, because that's important. So, yeah. Well, we've got about, 60 seconds to go here, and we're done. I know time flies when you're having fun, and this always is the fastest hour of the day. What do you got what would you like to leave our audience with in the next minute or so?
I would say the biggest thing that I would leave you guys with is practice more being in the feeling of gratitude. The feeling of it. So your first 20 minutes of the day, give thanks and be in the feeling of gratitude, actually feeling that, and you'll attract more of that in your life.
Nice. It's true. Yeah. Start the day off right. Yeah. That's 100% true. That's beautiful. I love it. Well, Jeanne, thank you so much for being here. This is awesome. This is well done, and well done on that speaking, man. I didn't know that was your first time. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. It's always got to be the first time, right? So that's so cool. Well, congratulations on all that. And thank you so much for being here and for telling your story and getting the word out. And I'm so excited to just watch you over the next couple of years and just see what happens. It's going to be great.
Likewise. So, I'm very thankful to you and having me on your show. This was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon for sure.
Yes, we definitely will.
All right. All right, everybody. Oh my gosh, that was cool. So, all right, if everybody, I know people that have been watching for a long time. There's probably people who've been watching for a long time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And if this is your first show you've seen, thank you. This is awesome. I'm so glad you're here. Like, share, subscribe, all the things. You've been on YouTube, you've been on Facebook, maybe you're watching from one of those, subscribe so when the next episode's coming up. So that you don't miss anything, because there's more amazing stories to come. And thank you so much for being here. And please join us for our next show, which will be Friday, July 5th, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and right here on E360 TV. I'm very excited to see you then. And until then, have an amazing day, and we'll see you soon.